are you a founder who thinks that when you will release the product into the market, your desired customer will see the landing page and the messaging you have put out, and they will understand the product entirely? But this is not true in most of the cases. So most of the programmer turned founders, when they release the product for the first time, they think that their product is truly innovative and valuable and it is going to change the world. They have this assumption that once their customers will see the landing page and they will understand the product, how it is going to make their life is easy, they will understand it automatically. But this is not true. Let me first give you a small story regarding this. So a few days back, I woke up at around 6:30 a.m. The room was quiet, my desk was clean, my laptop was on the desk, and I had to finish some work early. But I felt like something was off. I told myself I am not ready now to write the code. And old voice kicked in, you have to be inspired first. So I opened Twitter. And that is what I have been doing when I am about to tackle any challenging problem. So when I first learned to code, I always used to get stuck in challenging problems. So I used to leave that problem and I used to return it to next day. Now, in the next morning when I woke up, the first thing I did was to find some funny memes or the things that could inspire me. I used to consume those and it helped me with a mental reset. I used to come back to the challenging problem after this and used to solve the problem eventually. Eventually, this became my system. I started believing that inspiration was not a waste of time, it's a fuel. Because of that mental model, I started scrolling X or Twitter on that day too. On Twitter, I noticed that some people were launching AI products, some were getting new jobs. So that is how I felt inspired. So after some time, after browsing around for 2 hours, I realized that I was not browsing now. I realized that I was reading someone's old post, their quoted tweets, comparing my approach to theirs and looking for more inspiration. Since 2 hours has already passed, I should have gone back to my work and completed it because the inspiration I needed I had already got. At that point, I realized that this was not part of my process anymore. This has become a way to procrastinate. I was not just using X or Twitter for feeling inspired. I was browsing it to delay the starting point of my work. What started as a productive reset has become my seductive way to escape reality. So why did I tell you this story? So I want to talk about this belief of these founders that their customers are going to value their product just after seeing the landing page or just about hearing their product. And this is a false mindset to have. Let's take my situation, the example I told you above. When I went to X to look for motivation, I didn't think at the start and after 2 hours has already passed that I was procrastinating or I was running away from my work. I thought this was going to help me. This is what I do when something gets hard, because this has been true in my past. There was a time when this behavior helped me achieve results, because next day I was able to solve challenging problem which I was stuck with last day. So this was my mental model, that first you get motivated and then you can solve any kind of challenging problem. Even when it started hurting, now on that day when I was scrolling Twitter, so after 1.5 hours, I have realized that I was procrastinating, but I still continued doing that behavior because the old context always makes sense. The old context that has been set in the past told me that I was doing the right thing. Now imagine in that phase someone has came and told me, hey, stop browsing Twitter. I have made this new system and this will make you more productive. Just follow it. Do you think I would have listened to him or her? Of course not, because it will not fit my mental model of how progress happens or how I solve challenging problems. I, I, I will need context to make sense of this new idea someone proposed. If someone gave me a new idea to become productive, it need to attach to my old behavior, or it need to attach itself to some context which already exists in my mind. So like things like why my old behavior was not working anymore. How is this new behavior or this new routine connected to my old behavior, and how will it fix my problem? I need to know all these things to make sense of this new productive system which is being sold to me. If these things cannot make sense, or I don't understand the context, or I am not able to relate it with already a pre-existing mental model, I will never buy that productive system. Let me also give you a storytelling example so understand, to make you understand this thing. So suppose you are watching a movie. In the first 10 minutes of watching the movie, you have understood all the entire context. If now at the start you understand that who are the characters, should you love them or hate them, where, what is this story going to be about. In a movie, if you're watching, these are the things the storyteller also tried to make you understand in just first 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, so that the context can be set. So this is what happens, or this is what need to be done in B2B product positioning also. When you first introduce a product to the customers, they are in the wandering stage. They are actually looking for a context. They are desperately trying to relate it with something. Is it like Google Form? It is like Slack? Is it like Salesforce CRMs? Or is it like Notion? And another thing they are asking themselves is, where will it fit my workflow? If your product does not anchor itself to something that they already understand, like in the movie, you need to make them understand, or you need to give them the context in the first 10 minutes of the movie. So that this is the reason why you have to give them a context about your product. Whether you want it or not, you have to relate your product to the pre-existing product which is already known by them. If your product don't make any sense and is not connected to anything known by them, they will never buy your product. They will just move out. You think that they will pause and try to figure out what is this product about, but they will never do that. So the product have to make sense with the pre-existing mental model of the customers. Have you seen iPad? And then think about the first time you saw the iPad. You thought about a big phone or a small computer without a keyboard. This is what we thought about an iPad at the start. So now think about that. You try to relate it with something pre-existing in your mind. Even with the iPad, you try to relate it with something pre-existing in the mind. Without that, your mind will never be able to comprehend that you are going to buy this item. Why you want to buy this item? Your mind will keep wondering, and if you don't give them a context, your mind a context, it will never buy that item. So this is why the product positioning is important and messaging is very very important, and it need to set an entire context in the brain of your customers. So if you are thinking about positioning a product, you have to think about in terms of context, setting context, nothing else than that.